Not every hike needs a permit, a backup plan, and a perfect weather window, but this one does. Welcome to the Kalalau Trail, a 35 kilometers round-trip hike along Kauai's Nā Pali Coast with over 2,000 meters of elevation gain and no road or boat access. The Kalalau Trail is one of the most scenic hikes in Hawaii, but it's remote, rugged, and not something to take lightly. The trail is known for its untouched beauty, but also for river crossings, exposed cliffs, and flash floods. You will need a permit, and these are released 90 days ahead and often sell out within minutes. The best time to do the trail is from May to September, when the weather is more stable and there is less rain. At the end of the trail, you are rewarded by the stunning Kalalau Beach, which is easily the most amazing beach we have ever seen in our lives. Permits are released exactly 90 days ahead at midnight Hawaiian time, and they disappear within minutes. We got ours by refreshing the website nonstop and just barely locked in a spot. Once we had the permits, we booked direct flights from Vancouver to Kauai and planned everything else around that window. No permit means a $500 fine, but more importantly, it means you're ignoring the rules that exist to protect a very sacred place. We started the hike early in the morning after getting dropped off at Hawaiian State Park. With only 2 days available on our permit, we committed to reaching Kalalau Beach on day 1, which meant a long, steady grind. We were dropped off by a local we found through a Facebook group dedicated to Kalalau Trail hikers, and we'll leave a link in the description. He also let us leave some of our extra gear at his place, which saved us a lot of weight on the trail. We started hiking at around 5:30 a.m., just as the sun was rising, and honestly that early start was one of the best decisions we've made. It gave us a cooler window before the heat kicked in and let us stay ahead of the crowds for most of the day. The first section of the trail to Nā Pali Beach is the most accessible. It's well maintained and usually full of day hikers heading to the beach or the waterfall. There's a steady 150-meter elevation gain, but it's manageable and nothing compared to what comes later on the trail. Once you cross the river at Nā Pali, everything changes. The trail gets steeper, narrower, and way more unpredictable. About 5 kilometers in, you come around a bend and the Nā Pali cliffs hit you full force. Huge, jagged, and unlike anything we'd seen before. It starts to feel like you're not just hiking anymore. You're rather navigating terrain that doesn't really care whether you're ready for it or not. We reached Hanako after about 3.5 hours. It's a decent resting point and a good place to refill water. From there, things start to get intense. The infamous crawler sledge isn't as bad as most photos make it seem. At least it wasn't when we crossed it in dry conditions. It's a narrow ledge with a drop to the ocean below, but as long as you focus and take your time, it's doable. What was worst for us were the muddy, loose dirt sections just past the ledge. Less exposure, but way easier to slip. Around the 16th kilometer mark, you finally see the Kalalau Valley open up, and it feels like you've reached another world entirely. Towering cliffs, thick jungle, and the beach so remote that the only way in is this brutal trail, or by breaking the law and arriving by boat. We made it to Kalalau Beach early in the afternoon, pitched our tent, filtered some water, and rinsed off in the waterfall. And then we just sat there quietly watching the sunset, eating a hot meal, and letting our legs recover. You can't get there by road, and swimming in from a boat is dangerous and illegal for a reason. The currents are no joke, and it is not recommended to swim in the ocean at all. Rescue isn't an option out there. Our plan was to hike out the next day. Early start, beat the heat, get it done. Light rain began shortly after we packed up. We hurried to cross the sketchiest parts, and thankfully we managed to get through those while the trail was still relatively dry. Within an hour, it was pouring, and the trail had turned into mud. Every downhill section became sketchy, and we had to move way slower than expected. At Hanakoa, we took a detour to the waterfall and lost more time. By the time we got back to Hanakapi'a stream, it had completely transformed. The quiet knee-deep crossing from the day before was now chest-high and fast-moving. We freaked out. We waited for hours, hoping it would drop, but it stayed the same. It was already 5 p.m. and we were running out of time for our scheduled pickup. Eventually, another couple arrived from Kalalau, and we decided to give it a try together. It took us 40 minutes to cross, carefully navigating strong currents and timing our steps between waves. We crossed, but it was a mistake. No doubt about it. It was dumb, reckless, and we were lucky it didn't end worse.
I don't know how, but
situations like these made us regret not having an emergency satellite communicator. We would have just stayed for the night, letting our driver know we were fine, but we just got cut off. The final few kilometers back to the trailhead were walked in silence. We were soaked, exhausted, and running on adrenaline. We arrived to the parking lot at 7 p.m. Our driver, who we were supposed to meet at 6 p.m., glanced at us, and he knew immediately. "Glad you made it," he said. This trail's reputation as one of the most dangerous hikes in the world isn't an exaggeration. It's remote, has serious drop-offs, slippery footing, and river crossings that can turn deadly in just a few hours of rain. For more information on this trail, permits, and packing list, visit our blog post linked in the description. Thanks for watching and happy trails!